everyone.
Hi there.
Hey, hello, and welcome back to this week's blog/vlog. We have Anderson reading today, so here we go. I appreciate, again, any comments, and if you think about it, hit the like button, and if you want to subscribe, do that. Feedback is always good.
Don't think about it. Just do it. Hit the like button.
yeah. Let me think about this for a while. Yeah, do it. Just do it.
The title of this week's blog is What's So Bad About Being You? It's a good question.
Something must be.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be themselves.
Yeah. Hello. Thank you for following along. This blog/vlog might take a little noodle scratching, but it should make good sense by the end.
Hopefully.
Yes. Think of a bicycle wheel. At the center is a hub, and for the purpose of this analogy, one should consider himself and himself alone to be the hub.
Yeah, that thing that is you, that truly, truly, truly is you. None of the other stuff or personalities or identities or anything else, but that thing that is purely, purely you. That's the hub.
From the hub radiate a number of spokes. Each spoke might be considered an identity the person might assume at one time during the day or throughout life.
Yeah.
In my case, there's a spoke for being a husband, another spoke for being a dad, another for being a chiropractor, and so on.
Yeah.
A spoke for each of the many hats I wear and identities that I assume on a given day and have assumed throughout my life.
Right.
If one knows he is the hub, and the spokes are nothing more than the created identities or even personalities, he would probably be doing fairly well in life.
Yeah, because now you don't get out here, and we'll talk about this in here, but you can look at life and reason and all the rest of the stuff from you. What is it? Centered or something like that. But that thing that is you, rather than always having to look at things and make your decisions as a chiropractor or as a this or a that. I think there was a Monty Python skit about that, as a rock climber, it's my opinion, and as a butcher or a baker, it's my opinion. So what? Why not, let's get your opinion. Let's get back to you.
Just be all of what you are at the same time. Let's see. The hub is the being himself.
Yeah.
That soul or spirit or life energy that really has no identity, but is the personality of the individual himself.
Yeah.
Those identities on the spokes are not the individual.
It's exactly. They're things that were created. They're things that you're being, but they're not really that thing that is, capital is underlined, you.
The postulates you had, ideas that you had that were probably a good idea at one point to be a chiropractor and be a good dad and all that type of stuff, and might be a good idea to be that again at some other point, but you want to be pretty intentional with that. It can get a little funky when these, spokes are kind of guiding the hub, right? I hope I didn't go ahead. We'll see. Those identities on the spokes are not the individual.
Right.
Without getting too heavy, each of these identities on the spokes can have personalities, and for all intents and purposes can be mistaken for the individual himself, that being the hub. These personalities out on the spokes can think, interact, and even take control of the hub, that being himself.
Exactly. And that's the problem. You'll see, you have these personalities out here, so to speak, or identities, or there's other terms, I guess, beingnesses, whatever you want to call them out here that feed back to the hub. So you have this guy that, that's out here and it's feeding, and the hub thinks that this is what he is. It's like, no, it goes from here out, not out in.
It has been the opinion of my family, as the doctors and staff of Paragon Chiropractic, that if a person really wanted to get well, feel more alive and healthy, he would need to resume his viewpoint as the hub of the bicycle wheel in our analogy.
Yeah. From here, you look out and see. So that thing that is you, that is the viewpoint. And those things that you see are points of view. But it's the viewpoint. That's the thing that sees. That's the thing that creates space. That's the thing that thinks. That is the thing that is truly you.
As a bicyclist, one of my spokes, I can tell you that the ride gets real squirrely if the bike is being controlled from the spokes inward. And it's not a fun ride, actually. This is why these health and wellness blogs/vlogs encourage people to study and spend time working on their character, their virtue, and humanity, because this is the path that leads a person back toward the hub, the individual themselves.
Yeah, it is. You are, in essence, a good, virtuous, in ethics being
Mhm.
that emanates
Life.
life. Yeah, good way to put it. Yeah.
From that viewpoint, one can control and operate not only his body, but the world around him. He can truly make it his.
Yeah.
One of the big problems with the identities or personalities out on the spokes is that they can also mimic people that one has encountered in this or other lifetimes.
Mm.
Let me give you an example. Have you ever reacted to a situation that, upon looking back, you really didn't really seem like you? It seemed out of character. Perhaps you wouldn't have yelled or said the things that you said. Maybe it seemed more like how your dad might have handled the situation, or even your little league coach who used to yell at you all the time. That's because it wasn't you who reacted. Yeah, it came out of your body, but it wasn't you.
Yeah.
Could one of the personalities or identities out on the spokes have a bad back or some health issue that you now seem to be manifesting? That's a good question.
There's something to think about right there. So when you have these back pains and you have these issues and you're acting out and you're responding to things and so on and so forth, is it really you that's doing it? I know, it's kind of hairy and woo woo, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like, God, that really didn't seem like me. It's like, my kid started to mess up or something, and I started telling him that he was worthless and weak and that he would never play outfield and it's like, play outfield? What are we talking? Oh, that was my that was my little league coach yelling at me. It's like that wasn't me. But yeah, that's the thing that's so cool is where did we leave off on that?
Could one of these personalities?
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. That's what you want to kind of keep in mind. You know, would somebody when here's you think of yourself, somebody cuts you off in traffic and you actually go crazy and you want to choke the life out of that person and stuff. I guarantee you that's not you. Who is it? Ooh, there we go. I'm just saying it might be one of these personalities out on the bicycle spokes.
Yeah.
For our analogy.
Is it really your bad back or health issue? It's a good question. It could be, but you got to answer that question.
Yeah. Yeah, you keep trying coming in to get your back fixed, and it's not even really your problem. You're being Aunt Sally or Aunt Bertha who had a bad back. So we need to fix Aunt Bertha's bad back, not yours. I know, I told you it's going to take some noodle scratching.
It gets wild. So, is it really your bad back? Probably not. Perhaps it's Aunt Bertha's flambosis or halitosis. Who knows?
Oh, the thrombosis and the halitosis of Aunt Bertha.
It gets you
It'll get you.
every
And,
time.
and, and you're going to the doctor, and it's like, no, this is Aunt Bertha's. It's not mine.
It's tough to explain that to a doc, though, sometimes.
Yeah.
You go, no. She's been dead for about 80 years. But no, it's I swear, it's.
It's out here on one of the spokes. It's a
Yeah.
personality.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just ting, hook onto it, ting, be the butcher, be the baker, the candlestick maker, be Aunt Bertha, the little league coach, your dad, your mom, blah, 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 and all the rest of the stuff. And it's like, yeah, you can do all that, but remember, you are you.
That's the thing. You can do all that, and it can be really, good if it's intentional. If you just, automatically, like Dr. Dave said here, if you're in traffic and somebody cuts you off and you're just incensed, it's not quite intentional, is it? But in any case, so when one wants to start biohacking, taking magic pills, or have plastic surgery performed, the question comes to mind, or at least it should: whose problem am I trying to handle, and who's making the decision to handle it with risky treatments that might reduce my survival potential?
How about that? So, yeah, who needs the plastic surgery? Who
Yeah.
thinks they do? Who needs this biohacking? Who are you trying to be when you need to live on 3 hours of sleep and speed and magic mushrooms and all the rest of the stuff so that you got your cutting edge. Who in the heck is that? I guarantee you it's not you.
Sounds crazy, I know, but it's true. There's so much more to this topic, but I thought I would throw it out there and invite those who are interested to let me know. I would love to talk more about this subject.
Yeah.
This blog/vlog isn't meant to get a person all spun up about being haunted. It's just something to think about.
Yeah. Even though you are haunted.
Even though,
we're all haunted.
If a person is able to think and reason for themselves and consider both the upside and downside of what they are thinking about doing, he will know that it is most likely himself, the being who is running the show and not some identity out on the spokes. Those decisions that do the greatest good for the individual, his family, groups, mankind, and the planet are probably best.
Hmm.
As one studies, he will find himself on the path back to himself and able to tell his own stories, and these are the only ones that matter. Take care, both of us.
Dr. Dave, yeah.
Thank you so much.
And that's the whole thing, you know. You keep hearing things, and here I guess I'll hammer on the media. All you hear about is the bad stuff, everything, the bad things that happen, and all this other stuff. That's not the case. There's always an upside to even the worst thing. There's even a downside to even the best thing, and so on and so forth. And if you can rationally consider, you know, the upside of things when you hear them, or, you know, the downsides of things, and actually kind of think and look rather than simply reacting as Aunt Bertha, who feels that she would be loved more by everybody if she biohacked and did ketamine 12 times a day and magic mushrooms and got her whole face Botoxed or something. And it's like, I don't know. Let Aunt Bertha do that. Why don't you just go and live your life? Yeah.
Usually works better.
All right. So like I said, that took some noodle scratching. That is one of those ones that if you want to, it would be much better to talk about than try to, because I can show you things, references, and so on and so forth. But yeah, just as they say, bring it in.
Like Dr. Dave said, A and B conversation always works better rather than just a one-way type of thing. So leave a comment, come back in here, ask us questions about this video, send us a carrier pigeon, do whatever. I mean, truly, throw a brick through our window. Don't do that. That's a lie. That's a joke. So, all right. Have a good day.
Have a good. Thank you. Yep. Take care.